Okay, this lesson is section 0.2 and 0.3 for SM1. I don't have them together right here because we'll do one right after another. But we're going to start with order of operations. I decided that the operations should go in the order of a tonsillectomy first, and then an appendectomy after that. I know, I'm just trying to be funny, but that's the order I would do my operations. Okay. Next slide. All right, order of operations. You guys have heard this before. PEMDAS, or I like to say GEMDAS or GEMDAS. And what that means, okay, so GEMDAS, G stands for grouping. Now, you've learned P is for parentheses, and parentheses is one form of grouping. We also have things that are underneath, like expressions that are under square root symbols, or we've got them inside absolute value marks, symbols. So it's actually not just parentheses, it's grouping in general. Okay? Then E, the excuse, so go excuse my dear Aunt Sally is what I say. The E is for exponents. Multiplication and division go together, and addition and subtraction go together. Okay, and don't forget that multiplication and division and addition and subtraction go left to right. So, for example, we've got 35 divided by 7 times 3. So we go left to right. So 35 divided by 7 is 5, and then times 3 is 15. Now let's say I didn't do it in order, and I did this one first, then that would be 35 divided by 21, and then we get some, 35 over 21 turns out to be 5/3, which is really different than 15. So remember to go left to right when multiplication and division are together and addition and subtraction are together. Okay, so let's do some examples. This first one, remember, GEMDAS. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is what's inside the parentheses, what's inside the groupings. And I actually have a group inside of a group. So I'm going to do, this might be a little overkill, but I am doing just one step at a time. So I've got this first thing. So this is going to be 4. 12 divided by 3 is 4, and that's going to be squared. Close that parenthesis. Okay, now I'm still going to do what's inside the parenthesis, and the exponent goes first. So I have 3 times 2 plus 16. Still need to do what's inside the parentheses. So I've got 3 times 18, which gives me 54. Okay, so that's how we do that one. All right. I'm going to hope I don't go over on my time. Okay, so here, I don't see any parentheses, but when we've got something in the numerator and something in the denominator, they kind of have this invisible parentheses around it. So we just have to remember that they're grouped together, what's in the numerator and what's in the denominator. So I'm looking at the top, I've got 3 plus exponent first here. 2 to the 3rd power is 8. And that's over, I'm going to do my exponent here, 16 times 3. And again, you can kind of imagine that they're still in groups here. So this is 11 over 16 times 3 is 48. And that is my answer, is 11 over 48. Okay, so I want you to try these. Let me get out of your way. Go ahead and pause your video and try these. Okay, so this first one, I know it looks kind of lengthy, but you got this. Okay, one of the biggest mistakes I see all the time is people want to subtract here. Okay, 14 minus 2. Don't do that. okay? This is actually -2 times this first. So let me do the problem and I'll show you. So first of all, we have what's inside the parentheses. So I've got 14 minus 2 times 3 minus 3 times 6. Now I do the multiplication and division, which is right there. So I've got 14 minus 6 minus 3 times 6 is 18. And then I've got, when I do 14 minus 6 minus 18, I have -10. Okay, so for this one, I don't see any grouping, so I'm going to go on to the next thing, which is exponents. Again, this is probably overkill, but I'm just trying to show you one step at a time. Okay, so this gives me 3 squared, which is 9. And now I'm going to do my multiplication and division next, going alphabetical order. So do this one first, 8 times 2 minus 9. This is going to be 16 minus 9, which is 7. Okay, and then lastly, okay, if that helps you to put parentheses around that, you can do that. I've got 4 plus 3 squared is 9 over 12 plus 1 is 13. So this is 13 over 13, which is 1. Okay? So again, the biggest thing on this is to make sure that you don't do this one first. Remember that this is -2 times this, and that's going to happen before we do any subtracting. Okay, we will move on to the next video here.